Okay, I'm back. And let's hope that, yeah, we are able to have our beautiful sister Beate join and talk with us this time to share about taking up space. If you haven't watched the first video, yeah, it was just saying that it appears I'm being challenged to take up more space than I planned on taking up tonight. So here I am, showing up, taking up that space. Okay, all right, let's try it. Please, let her come. I've taken up some space myself. I'd love to have her. Yay! Yay!
Oh, hello. Wow, what a lesson. What a lesson.
Oh my goodness. It took me a little while to get it. Yeah.
Now actually the sound quality isn't really working.
Sorry, no, someone just tried calling me.
It's all happening
Someone
today.
just tried calling me. It is. So how about we start this conversation now? Do you want to introduce yourself? Yes.
Okay. 20 minutes late. Sorry. Yes, for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Beate. I moved to the beautiful mid-north coast to live a more sustainable life, and that's definitely happening. I also work for a non-for-profit organization, and I work with vulnerable people every single day. And I'm also a holistic and transpersonal counselor. And I know you, Megan, since 2009, when I started my journey going inwards and started on this conscious lifestyle, I guess. And we did lots of inner work together. We went through a lot together already. So I'm really honored to be here with you tonight, and with everyone else who is watching. Yeah. That's me in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I'm so honored to have you here finally after I was just made to take up a little bit more space. So let's talk about that, taking up space. So I shared a little bit about, I guess, my recent experience of being on retreat, or even before the retreat, and having these tapes playing in my head, and like literally hearing myself say, don't take up too much space, or my grief's gonna take up too much space, and only like hearing them and then starting to go, hang on, what? Yeah, really starting to question that. So I'd be really interested to hear about your experience with taking up space.
With either taking up space or not taking it up, I guess.
Or not taking it up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because I think for me, there is that sense of either shrinking and not taking up space, or what I noticed in recent times, I can also go into the opposite, which is actually taking up space that isn't healthy either. It's more the passive aggressive kind of space. And what I really noticed is that the middle ground is important for me to find. So it's about standing, I guess, in my power And importance for me as well is knowing when to speak and when to be present and silent. So that's a very big thing for me at the moment, to really work out when do I speak and when not to, because the silence speaks a lot of words too, and it's so needed a lot of times, because I can see people taking up space with a lot of negativity, and that's not what we're talking about here. And always bringing in things that aren't important. So yeah, it's really about finding the middle ground for me, between silence and presence and speaking.
Yeah, and that makes me think of Brene Brown has one of her mantras she's got.
Yes.
She says, if you've got an
Yes.
issue, I got a mantra. And so her mantra being, don't shrink,
Yeah.
don't puff up, just stand your sacred
Don't
ground.
puff up.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that's absolutely so important. And I guess that sometimes it can, when we're starting to learn, like I guess we usually have a your default. So the way that you usually go, like some of us, the default is to shrink, some is to puff up, and then it can be, we can start to sort of notice what we're doing and try and move more towards the other one, and sometimes we can flip into that other one as well. And so it is starting to find, what does it look like to stand my sacred ground and being present. And I think with deep respect for other people, and also I think I know that for me, and I was going to start talking about it earlier, like I guess part of my family pattern and family story is around, you help other people any way you can, no matter what, and usually ends up to the detriment of yourself. Like, it's something that I'm so grateful for the beautiful, like what I've learned from my family. They just such giving, generous people, and I've also seen what that can do. And so being able to kind of go, actually, and giving back to myself and sort of saying, I can start to take up some of this room. It's not just being of service and being there for other people. I need to step out and kind of be there for me too.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a different family story. Mine is to be silent and not to say anything, especially not having very uncomfortable conversations. So here I am having uncomfortable situations every single day with people, but they are the conversations that need to happen. And I also see in my line of work a lot of women having this kind of suppression, not allowed to speak, being controlled, not having the ability to stand in their power and to take up space and to know that this is okay. So it's really beautiful to see when women are empowered and they actually can stand tall and say, no, this is me, this is what I believe in, and this is what I want, and that's what I'm going for, and I'm just going for it anyway, if you like it or not. So it's definitely beautiful to see women empowered and to voice and to speak up and to show up in the world and, well, in their lives, basically.
And it is such a I guess, you know, for women it can be, I guess, that we have been in that sort of, well, and still in some places just really made to stay small and keep quiet. There is that And so kind of playing into that. And then as well, if, you know, people are coming from those families where there's that children are meant to be seen and not heard, and that's sticking with people as well, or families where the only way to actually get attention is to scream and yell, and then what that ends up looking like as we grow older as well, and what that can mean for taking up space. So taking up space in a, like you said, in a healthy way. And I think one of the things that I'm kind of dancing with at the moment is this taking up space. I guess because I've got the absolute depth and darkness of grief at some times, and then this ecstatic joy at other times as well. And kind of like, I mean, that's a just for me living that's a challenging dance for me to kind of be in anyway. But then when I'm starting to share more out in the world, and sort of the things that might go on in my head about, is it okay, like should I, or thinking, will some people be thinking I've forgotten about my son if I'm happy, you know, and is my grief going on too long if I'm sad? And so, but those two things being part of me and my experience now, and kind of being able to just go, actually, both of these exist for me every day, and sharing both of them is sharing me and my experience.
The truth.
Yeah,
definitely. And it's important to hear, and I do forget that sometimes myself. It's important to hear, I guess, your story, the things you went through, because someone else will resonate with that. Someone else needs to hear that piece of information coming from you to be able to support themselves through their life. And I can go into critical thinking with that a lot, and I can then shrink if I go into kind of the mind when it says, but there are so many people doing that already. You know, there are so many spiritual teachers, there are so many people who went through their own personal experience, and they're sharing that on a massive global platform. Who am I to contribute to that? So if I go into that, I can see myself easily shrinking. So I really have to watch my mental chatter and stop it, to remember that no, not everyone has heard it, and if they have heard it, they might have to hear it again, or they need to hear it from someone else. They need to hear different words in a different context, and maybe with the fifth time hearing something, it makes sense. So I have to watch that very careful. Definitely one of my challenges.
And it can be right now. They need to hear it right now. Because I mean, again, I kind of come back to that, that I kind of have, there's different rules for me. I place different rules on me than on everybody else. Like, it's okay. And, you know, because I sit here and listen to you, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, but listen to you, what you're saying. You're so wise, and you've got so much to share, and you should be sharing it. And it's just like, I say that, and think that about so many other amazing women and men out there. But the rules are different. And even, you know, I guess for me, I go back to my experience of Kai's death, because, you know, that's, for me, it's just, every day. And like seeing these amazing mothers that are doing all these different things, and so many times sort of like, who am I? Like, you know, whatever little things, like he
Yeah.
only died 16 months ago, or they've experienced a miscarriage as well, or they've been doing this for so much longer, and they just say all these amazing things. Yeah, and so yeah, that thing going on, but it's kind of like I also know that at times, you know, sometimes I say stupid things, but other times I can have little pieces that help. Like, because there's times that I say things and it helps me, and it's giving myself permission to put that out there, and yeah, in the hope that it does reach some of those women that need
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah,
And that's
help
a
to
thing.
start.
If it's reaching one person and this one person gets, one person, you know, that's the ripple effect that we will have, touching one person
Yeah,
and their family and their community, and that ripples out. Yeah.
it does. It does. And yeah, that ripple effect, that one little thing that you say could reach someone just when they need it, and then that could
Yeah.
change their day, their week, their month, their year, their life, and that could then influence somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that feeling
I had
of
that
not being
feedback.
alone.
I had that feedback just recently. Yeah, absolutely. I had that feedback from a woman I was supporting, and she said, the thing that kept me through that crisis was you saying that you're doing well, you're doing great, and you can do it. And I was saying that over and over, not in a repetitive way, but just, I guess, reflecting that to her on a regular basis. And she said that was the pace that kept me together sometimes, because that was that positive self-talk that was there instead of the critical mind. Hi, Alfie.
Alfie. Sorry.
He
Alfie.
wants a voice too.
Alfie's taking up his space. He's
Yes.
seen a ghost. Alfie, come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. He thinks something's happening. Come on.
And something is
Oh,
happening.
yes, something is happening. That's right. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, yeah, it starts to, giving permission to other women as well to
Yeah.
take up that space. And I think there's to step in that taking up space is an act of self-love as well, which you know is that's a whole other conversation. But it is that, you know, it is for me it's actually quite a massive step in self-love. It really is transforming for me the way that I feel about myself. And yeah, that practice as well of remembering, don't shrink, don't puff up, stand your sacred ground. Yeah, and being in that, finding that place, finding that center, finding that sacred ground, and that feeling of being in that is, it's so beautiful.
And this can be quite easily done, but when it comes to a day when you feel more vulnerable or you feel more challenged, you know, finding that middle ground can be so hard, because it's so much easier to shrink and to try to not be there. So that's definitely a challenge.
Yes, it is. And that, I guess, in those times as well, like, yeah, I guess today my heart's hurt a bit more today. Today has been a bit of a harder day as far as my grief goes. You know, it's not been one of the really hard days, but it's been a little bit harder. And I guess that was something that I was thinking about moving into this conversation as well. That standing that sacred ground sometimes is being in this, today is a hard day. You know, it's not going to be me standing, you know, like, and joyful and, you know, putting this, really, I guess, high energy out there. It's going to be, sometimes it's a darker, heavier energy that I'm bringing, and it's part of the journey, and the realness.
And I think that's it, and that's it, because you are just speaking your truth and living your truth. You're not putting on a face, or you're not putting on something else. It's like, no, this is me right now or today. So that's definitely taking up space in a healthy way. Yeah, because it's bringing all of you.
And what a, like, I think about, I saw oh, you posted a video. How about that? You posted a video.
I did I?
Yeah.
What did I do?
About, I think it was in India, and that a organization, and they were allowing women to have the day off for period pain. And I thought, you know, what, that's a great thing. And there was also this kind of thought in there, like, what if it wasn't just, look, Alfie's tail here. What if it wasn't just for period pain, like that? You know, it's not just that, like that time is also a time when we need to go inwards, where we're feeling more tired. Like, there's a lot happening in our bodies, and we've been kind of made to ignore so much of that and just pretend. It's like, it is like we're pretending that this isn't even happening. Let's pretend that women don't have periods. Like, this doesn't even happen. Women, you just need to carry on as if nothing's happening, when this happens all the time, and don't talk about it. It's embarrassing. And I guess that sort of story as well can be, you know, something that we really are carrying and living with as women in our journey. It's, we can't be real. Hi, Louise. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Yeah, we can't be real in so many different ways. And so, again, we're being told it's not okay. And so having to...
It's not okay to be... it's not okay to be a complete woman with everything that, you know, we have and what we bring. It's okay to a certain extent, but you're not allowed to show the whole range of emotions, the whole spectrum of what it means to be a woman. So I think it's time for that to change, because we bring so much. There's so much richness in all of our emotions. And I guess the labeling of saying positive and negative emotions is already bringing in that it's not okay to experience anger or grief or depression or sadness. And there is a label, and we need to actually fix that quickly, instead of allowing someone to go through it, even with support, to fully experience and find out why it's there in the first place, because it's there for a reason. So it's about, giving that, I guess you mentioned it before, allowing it and honoring it, and giving permission to be fully us, of who we really truly are, from our essence.
Yes. And I think that's yeah, really, really getting to know and remember that essence as well, like, because it's always been there, and it's finding that and then really living through that. And yeah, just this, like, all of you beautiful women that are here, and all of the beautiful women that are in the Women of Power and Integrity group, and all of the women out there just have, like, there is this uniqueness that each one of us brings, and all so beautiful and also needed in different places in the world. Like, there's so many of us, and there's so many people that need whatever it is that we're bringing into the world, and it's finding that and then just turning up the volume on it a bit more, like, oh yep, that's what it is, like, I can feel that a bit more, I can turn it up a little bit, and turn it up a little bit more, and I'm coming out, and yeah, just there's a space that we're meant to be taking up in this world, in a beautiful and honoring way.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I wanted to share that story from today. I went to a workshop, and there were 5 women that were presenting on different topics. And just seeing the difference when someone really stood in their power and spoke from that place, how empowering that talk was, how inspired I felt, how the room energy just changed, compared to there was one there that shrunk. And that was, heartbreaking to see. And it was very hard to see her struggle through it, and her wanting to, change, the whole room so she wouldn't have to face her challenges. And she just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. And that talk was something, it didn't give me much because there was no connection. It was completely shut off then. So the point I'm basically making, when someone stands in their power, it's just an energy shift and an energy field that empowers and inspires others. And I love having, other women in front of me who can do that. And it's basically standing in their power and just speaking truth and what they believe in, even if it's just talking about something. But yeah, it's so beautiful to see when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yay! And I've just been sitting here enjoying watching you be in that place. I'm so grateful that you were able to finally join.
Yes. We should have practiced that before.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, always the same old thing with the technology thing. Always the answer, turn it off and turn it back on again. So I'll try that next time. But yeah, thank you so much for your wisdom and your experience. Thank you, Heidi. Part of my taking up space is bringing that laugh back and bringing that joy back. It's getting quite a few comments because it's coming out a lot these days. And my beautiful sister Nadine there, with the almost identical laugh that we're kind of known for. So is there anything else that you wanted to share before we kind of wrap things up, Beate?
No, this is me knowing right now I don't have to take up more space because I did, and I feel good. And I guess now it's time to be present in silence.
Yes. No, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just let me make sure that I remember yeah, what I wanted to say before we do go. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, these talks yeah, are really here for us to talk about those things that I guess lots of us are experiencing. Yeah, so anything that you feel you'd like to hear about, you could just give us a comment or send me a message or something like that saying I'd love to hear about this topic, or if you would love to be one of the sisters sitting here having a conversation, I would be so honoured to have you with me. And next week, I am honoured to have our beautiful sister Heidi Firth from Be Your Own Guru.
Yay.
Yes, so she's going to be joining us from Bali. So Heidi, it will be 5:30 Bali time, 5:30 p.m. It will be 7:30 again, but next Wednesday, so not the Thursday. Yay, Heidi! Yeah, so we'll be having yeah, Heidi joining us 7:30 Sydney time next Wednesday, the 26th of July. Yeah, so if you're not in Sydney and if you're not in Bali, where it'll be 5:30 p.m., maybe check your times to see when you can join. And then, yeah, we're going to be the next week, hopefully we'll be hearing from another beautiful sister who will be in Prague. So we're traveling the world with our beautiful sisters.
Yay.
Yeah, sharing. So next week we're going to be talking about being real and raw. So really, yeah, getting into some deep, getting into some of the deep and yeah, that rawness as well, which Heidi just yeah, inspires me with her rawness. So I'm really excited to be there. So yeah, Heidi in a nice warm Bali.
Yay.
While we're here in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for rejoining after I had to finish and then come back. And hopefully we'll have you join later. Again, feel free to keep the discussion going and sharing your ideas on taking up space, and please feel free to take up your space. Come and sit with me, sisters. Thank you so much, beautiful Beate, for being with us and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you. Yeah, pleasure. And it was amazing. And yeah, awesome. I can't wait to see next week and the week after. So I will definitely sit with you all.
Okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll
thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Much love.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.